Hello, I'm going to try this without giving you the advantage of seeing my talking head because I think that takes up too much memory and makes it harder to upload. So where we left off, we had done some searching, refining our search, and downloading and selecting. We're going to focus now on prepping data from the PDFs, putting them into text file and uploading them in a way that allows us to break them up by article. Okay, so I actually want to just show you one more thing in the search with the NewsBank before we looked at content. If I were going to, so here's a search. I actually tried to look for articles earlier in the year. And there was only one article in January on social distancing, one in February, and then it really started to tick up in March, unsurprisingly. So here I'm actually, in this version of the search, I'm just going to limit to articles that have social distancing, the quote, in the headline, so ones that are really focused in on this concept. And I'm only going to do a single date, March 14th. This, by the way, is another way that you can limit yourself to fewer documents. You can sample by date, so you can go through the same process that we did in the spreadsheets, except instead of article IDs, you can put individual dates, and once it's recognized as a date, actually, you can drag them down and create a bunch of consecutive dates, and then you can sort through those and pick a few at random. But suppose we're focusing on March 14th, and I have 29 results in U.S. papers. One thing I wanted to show you, because this was really frustrating, and I couldn't remember how to deal with this, and it took a little digging. Notice I haven't selected any articles yet, and it says 40 selected. Well, that's because in a previous search, I downloaded 2 pages worth, 40 articles, and it kept that saved. And this was really stubborn because even if I start over, if I clear the search, if I log out and log back on, I guess with the cookies, it remembers that I have these 40. And so the way that you get rid of that is you click on that, and I just saw everything here and missed it first. You can clear all selections. So definitely, because I don't want to keep downloading those same articles over and over again. So now I have none. You also can save, and I recommend doing this. You can create a personal folder to save articles and saved searches, so you can redo the searches the way that you did it in the past and not have to recreate it from scratch. It's always frustrating when you say, I know there are 29 results and I'm trying to do this again, I'm getting 37. What am I doing differently? Okay, so I select all articles, 1 through 20, and go to the next one and select the final 9 of them. And I'm going to go to download. And 1 through 20 of 29, again, it's going to break them up into 2. So I'm going to start by downloading the first 20. And then once that's done, I'm going to click Next and select the last 9. Move that out of the way. And then the final 9 are going to be downloaded. This is actually a good chance to show you. Yeah, I don't know what's happening with this when I do a second group. It seems to not do it well, so I don't know. I might have to do that one at a time until I figure out what that glitch is. I'll probably ask the librarian what I'm doing wrong, or maybe you can experiment with it and let me know for extra credit. Okay, so let's just work with the 20. But if I had multiple documents, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually take all the content from the PDF and put them in a text file, because the text file is going to be easier to work with in MAXQDA, and it's going to allow us to split this up into the individual articles. And so if I wanted to, I could use some if you have programming skill in Python or something to do this all, to do some scraping. I'm just going to do it in kind of old school clunky hack way, which is to select all, and actually let me show you on the drop down, but you can use Command A in Mac, and the equivalent in PC, and that'll select all the text. And I'm going to use my preferred text editor, just a simple one right here, which is text edit. Use whatever you want. And once I've selected all the text, I'm going to Command C on Mac, or whatever the equivalent is. I think it's Control C, copy, and paste within my document. And I just have all of this undivided text from 20 different articles. Make it bigger. And now I want to show you how we can break this up so that each article is recognized as a separate article. Within MAXQDA, it will recognize the following text. You use pound or hashtag if you want, caps TEXT, so hashtag text, before the beginning of a new article. This is it'll take the first words as a title. These unfortunately, it's not always the title, but I'm going to copy and paste that before each new article. Now, rather than scrolling down and trying to figure out where each new article starts, I have this useful bit of information. The copyright is what occurs at the end of each of the individual articles, and that's nice. Actually, I could also use some scraping techniques to simply insert hashtag text on the next line after copyright if I want, but I promised you we wouldn't do any programming. You can explore that on your own if you want. Okay, so, but what I'll do is I'll use just the edit function in my text editor and find copyright. I already did that before, so I'm looking for each instance of copyright, and it'll highlight it, and I'll paste hashtag text, and then look for the next instance, copyright, hashtag text, just pasting everywhere I find it before the new article. And fortunately, you're not doing, if you're doing like thousands of these, it would be a real pain, and you'd want to automate it in some way using some programming skill, or there's some other kind of more user-oriented, nice user interface ways of doing this. I'm going to stop and actually just use the articles that I've already selected now and just delete the rest for demonstration purposes. I'm saving this as a social distancing text called social distancing 4, because I've been doing a few of these to practice, and save. Okay, and then in MAXQDA, open up and start a new project, or add to a project if you've imported some documents already and you're going to import some more. Notice I have nothing in my documents on the left yet, and that will soon change. Within import, if you download documents, that's a way to just or upload an entire PDF. You can do that. You can actually do everything as a PDF, but it won't break it up into individual articles and recognize those as separate units. So that will be faster, but a little bit more cumbersome and harder to unitize. So instead of that, we're going to go to this icon that says structured text next to it. I guess that's kind of is that supposed to be a funnel or something? Maybe. Yeah, because pre-processing, so it's like a funnel. All right, so I'm going to click on that, and up comes a helpful bit of information that includes what I just described to you, that the hashtag text is going to mark the beginning of the new text. Okay, and it's going to ask me to, I'm going to navigate to wherever I kept my text file. Here it is, and look on the left. It immediately populates with all the articles, 8 or so, that I marked, right? So the first one, simple steps that can help you weather. Okay. In fact, I think it uses that as that first bit that it finds as the title. And so there we go. You can go into each of those. I suppose one downside is that if there was important text you wanted to examine, it's being treated as the title. So if there's any text that's right after, you might want to, if there's text that you want to use that's going to recognize the title, you might want to hit return and make sure that's not being identified as, right here, social distancing 1918 style is the name of the article, and it's not going to be something that's actually going to appear in the article. Notice if I want to go to analysis, lexical search, we talked about this in our meetings. I'm choosing this phrase if social distance, social distancing should be captured by it as long as I don't put it in quotes. And then I'm going to run the search. And lo and behold, it says the document group that it appears in. So it's not giving the individual document name, but it's got the previews, social distancing, has the weeks of social distancing, roll on, etc. If I click on one of them, you can also see where there were repeats, where it was probably an article, like a Newswire article that appeared in more than one newspaper. Has been urged to practice social distancing. Click on that, and there it is in the article. So I can look at these in context and code those sections specifically if I wanted to. All right, well, that is it for now. I hope that was helpful. And don't forget to like and subscribe. No, not really. I'm not doing subscription, but I always wanted to say that.